Hello, this is going to be a box opening filming of Middle Earth, the Dragons expansion. So Middle Earth, the Dragons this is for Middle Earth, the Wizards card game. And this was released back in, a long time ago, 1996. And this was the first expansion to this game. This game was really great. Like, I played a lot of it and had a lot of cards back in the day and had a lot of fun with it. Went to nationals one time in Florida with some friends, and it was really fun. I wish I'd kept a lot of my cards. Unfortunately, I sold out of it, but I've gotten back and I've got this box and I want to open them up and show everybody these cards. So this box is, I've got 2 packs that are already opened. So I'm just going to show those and then we'll open some other packs. So this is the first 3 are going to be uncommons. So you can see Arrows Shorn of Ebony, Thirebad, Sand Drake, and Dragon's Breath, and Many Sorrows Befall. So for those that don't know, there's different types of cards. You've got resources, you've got sites, and you've got hazards. And those make up a deck. Many Sorrows Befall in this case is the rare. Adamant Helmet, which is an equipment. You've got House of Healing, which is a resource permanent event. Thunder's Companion, which is a creature, hazard creature. To me, we'll just Master of Estrogoth. Probably mispronouncing some of these. This is an event that you play as a resource. Elf Path. This is maybe to help you get somewhere. Lesser Spiders. This was a pretty common creature to attack people with. Pledge of Conduct and Searching Eye. Cancel any card. So this was help you find the bag, help you find the players that you're trying to hit with your resources, with your hazards, and kill them. Drakes. Of course, there's a lot of dragons in this set because this was the dragons dragon set, and so in the art, of course, in this product is just amazing in my opinion. I wish that I could actually have some of these in high resolution or posters. All right, this was another pack that was already opened. We have Men of Dale, which is a faction that you would gather for resource for marshalling points. Isle of Ulan, which is a location on Andras Coast, has a dragon in it, so don't go in there unless you know what you're doing. Dragon Lore, bunch of dwarves talking about dragon lore. Oh, Scatha Hunt, we've got a dragon. It's gonna hunt you down and beat you up. Erkarax, this one is only playable at the Isle of Ulan. So if somebody goes there and you have this and your opponent has this, you probably have a problem. You're going to have a dragon beat you up. And then here we have a copy of the rules card that's included with every pack. So we'll get a bunch of those. And then these are the commons. Dire Wolves was very common. Marsh Drake, Hey Come Mary Doll. This is a great card, which was about Uncle, and then we have Cram and More Sense Than You, Wondrous Maps, Another Searching Eye, Many Foes He Fought, of course, about Boromir, and Peril Returned. All right, let's put those there. Let me sort these and put these here, put that there, put that there. Oh, actually, I forgot. What was that? That one actually had two rares in it. Had Erkarax and the Scatha Hunt. All right. Here we go. Bow of Dragonhorn, which is another equipment. Rumor of Wealth. It was a great little short event. Smog Hunt, another dragon coming to bite you up. If you're out there roaming around, that's another good one. Emerald of Doriath, the good equipment. I've got King Under the Mountain, great card. And this one's worth 5 marshalling points. Big card to get if you can play it, but you got to play it on the dwarves that are eligible to be played on. All right. That's there. Yeah, it's there. It's there. some more of the commons. The commons will kind of repeat. Many turns and doublings. Dragon's Curse. And Forth He Hastened. Beautiful. Light Drake. Harborun of Silver. Refuge. Dragon's Blood, of course. A Short Rest. And Dwarven Horde. What we got? Zarak Doom. Hey There or Yonder. Another great card. Enruned Shield. Scorba Hunt. And Frenzy of Madness. If you discard it now. All right, that's that. That goes here. That goes over there. And then we have Wondrous Maps, Another Searching Eye, Thrice Baked Cakes. Marvel's Told. Marvel's Told was a great card that was added in this expansion. It really helped the resources. It helped you to be able to discard your opponent's bad stuff that was messing you up. Tales of the Hunt, Worn and Famished, Fast Asleep, +1/+3 to burglary attempt. Definitely important if you're playing burglars or you're playing hobbits. All right, Star of High Hope. Framsburg, that's a great site to get. Dragon Lore, Men of Lake Town, it's a good faction to get. And then, Urkarath at Home. Likararth, I may have said that wrong. So, Dragon guarding its horde. Not at Home. You definitely would play this when you're trying to get the Dragon Horde. Scabbard of Chalcedony, Warm Now, Be Heart and Limb. I love the names on these cards. Incite Minion, Master of Wood, Water, or Hill. Another great card about Old Tom. Landrake, Houses of Healing, Thunder's Companion, Master of Escrow, Lesser Spiders. That's what I loved about this game, is it really just told a story while you were playing it. You know, you would start your faction, you would start with your characters in a haven, and then you would choose a direction to go or a site to visit, and then you would, play the cards out of your deck and get and find treasure and fight monsters. And at the end of the game, you had a whole big story of awesome things that happened to you. And every game was different. Awesome. Look at that. Amazing. All right. Landrake, Fast Asleep, Bruce Words, and Forth He Hastened, Secret Unions, Icy Touch, Fjord. All right, so yeah, commons probably speed up a little bit on. All right. So I remember some of the decks I had together. One of them, of course, was like a deck where I played mostly heroes, which is this color, kind of the ones you know from the stories and the movies. Galdor, good character. Baron Axodon. And I played one that was just a faction, would just go around and get factions, go down to Gondor, collect all the factions, and try to win that way. And then it was like, I think me and my friend, we played a lot together. Cram is a very popular card. We played a lot together. And then there was, they would have state tournaments, and there wasn't a ton of people that played, but we played in them and then qualified for the nationals, like I mentioned. The Hunt, Noose of the Sea, it's a good one. Cloudless Day, Lurkarath Hunt, and a Framson. Also good card, good card. So we went to Florida to a convention and to play in the nationals. And the deck I brought was called a One Ring. It was called a One Ring deck. So there's a card in the set, in the first set, called the One Ring. And of course, that's like the most powerful equipment you can possibly get. And to win the game with the One Ring, it's extremely complicated. Magical Harp, Emerald of Doriath, Zarathun, Shadow of Mordor. This is probably the most expensive card in the set currently. This set is pretty heavily printed, so it's not extremely rare, but that's a really good card to hit. Anyway, so we went to this convention, and I brought the One Ring deck. And the thing about the One Ring deck is exceedingly hard to accomplish in the game because of all the things you had to do. You had to go, oh God, I'll see if I can remember. Of course, it's been like 20 years. Helm of Secrecy. Look at that bit. Look at that art. Look at that art. Isn't it amazing? It's amazing. It's amazing. Look at that. It's amazing. All right. So I went to, so I put the One Ring deck. So to do the One Ring, what you had to do is you had to play Hobbits, of course. And then the Hobbits, you had to take the Hobbits, and the Hobbits were some of the weakest characters in combat. So if you got fought, if a lot of monsters attacked you, you were having problems, so you had to avoid the monsters. And then what I did was, what I would do is take the Hobbits. We would have to go the Hobbits. I would have to draw a minor gold ring out of my deck, which is a type of item. I'd have to play the minor gold ring after I visited a site where it's playable, put it on a Hobbit, and then I'd have to play another card to test the ring, or I'd have to use my wizard to test the ring at a particular site, play cards to get bonuses to the site. Ooh, Bran, he's a great character to have. Great character to have. Play the card to, oh, I love the art on that one. Play the card to Gothmog, another great one. Play the card to test the ring, and then you'd roll a dice. And depending on what you rolled, that determined whether the gold ring that you had was the one ring or a different ring. So it could be a minor ring, it could be a major ring, it could be a greater ring. You didn't know until you tested it, but you didn't know until you rolled the dice. And so when you roll the dice, you then use that result to determine if it was the one ring or not. So then if you had to wait until you drew the one ring in your deck, out of your deck, before you could test it to see if you found the one ring. Then when you found the one ring, so if you rolled good, ta-da, you got the one ring. But there was always a chance you wouldn't roll good. And if you didn't roll good, then you had to discard the gold ring item and go get another one. And go take your party someplace else, go find another gold ring, do the test again, and then determine that you found the one ring. Now, so let's say you succeeded in the test and you found the one ring. Now you've got to, now when you've got the one ring, that ring is extremely corrupt. It corrupts your party. So there's such a thing in the games called corruption. And this actual item here is great because it actually gives you a +1. And when you have something like the One Ring had like 5 corruption, I think. And what you'd have to do is you would have to test and do corruption rolls every time you did a particular thing. And the corruption roll would determine that to see if your character was so corrupted by the power of the item that they just ran off. And if they ran off, then you lost the character, you lost the item, you lost all the marksman points, you lost everything. So of course, the One Ring being the most powerful item in the entire story has high corruption. Oh yeah. And then when you did that, the high corruption, so you had to not roll high, you had to get a good corruption roll and get there. So anyway, you get the One Ring, you found the One Ring. Now you got to go put the One Ring in Mount Doom, of course, because that's how the story works, right? So you have to then take your party and travel them into the most dangerous part of the entire game, where all of the horrible bad stuff can be played. Most of these dragons can be played, all of the really bad stuff can be played. So you have to walk into Mount Doom, play the site to get to Mount Doom, and then you have to play another card called the Praxidome to actually be able to have the opportunity to be able to put the One Ring inside Mount Doom, only playable while you're at Mount Doom, and then roll a dice and succeed the corruption test. See, this one has a 2 corruption, so this would give you a chance if you rolled bad to where your character just said, you know what, I like this staff, I'm out of here, and then you just lose everything. So there's other ways to keep that from happening, but that was not that happened quite a lot. So, that was the way the game worked. And it was really, really cool. So I got a bunch of commons of pretty much the same stuff as it is now. You've seen all of these probably at this point. Yeah. So anyway, I took that deck. The thing about playing that in competitive Magic, or competitive, not Magic, sorry, competitive Middle-earth, is that they used a scoring system. And if you won by dunking the gold ring, you got the most points possible that you could anybody get. I think it was 12 or something like that. And if you won, and if I succeeded, and then you got partial points too if you won. So if you won regular, you got like 8 points or whatever. So if you won 2 games by dunking the ring versus 3 or 4 games winning it regularly, you would actually have more points than the person. So they could win they could win 4 games regularly. You win 2 games, but you win one by destroying the one ring. You actually got more points than they did. So as I recall, what happened was I was successful one round. Got a Scatha at home. It's a good card to get. So I was successful one round, and I successfully dunked it, and it was amazing. I think I probably was the only one playing that kind of deck in the entire tournament. Maybe one other person. But then we played 3 or 4 rounds. I was partially successful one time and another time. But in the end, I didn't succeed enough to be able to get to the top 8 or place or something. I don't recall exactly. But the fact that I brought that deck to a competitive tournament, played it, was successful in accomplishing dunking the one ring, I was really happy with. Wow, look at that art. Gold Belt of Lorien, Velocity of Haste. All right, these stick together to this card here, huh? Well, whatever. Let's do that. Don't have to worry about it. All right, about halfway through the box. And these cards, like I said, were printed in 1996. And they are slowly disappearing from the world. Dolman at home. Yeah. Good. Good stuff. What else we got? We got Isle of Ulan, Alert the Folk, Vanish in Sunlight, Ovir Hollow, Thrain the Second. This is a very good one to get. This is the one that you play King of the Mountain on. Those cards go together. You can't play King of the Mountain if you don't have Thrain the Second. Well, you can play it on a couple other ones, but Thrain is the best one to play it on. All right, what do we got? Wizard Staff, Aircraft's Hunt, Vanish in Sunlight, Sleepless Malice, It's Guests at Home. So this particular set, like I was saying, was the second one that was printed, and they printed a lot of it. This was printed by, this was run by Iron Crown Enterprises at the time, and Iron Crown Enterprises owned the rights to the books. Not all of the books, but most of the books. They didn't own the rights to the old books, but they own the rights to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Pretty much that was it. And so this was way before the movies came out. So that's why this is all artwork. Sandrake, Host of Bats, Bearwoodoo, it's a good one. Isle of Ulan, and Winds of Wrath. But they printed a lot of this box. I mean, they printed a lot. And so this is by far the most common and particular set that's out for this particular game, and one of the lesser expensive ones. Magical Harp, Gasta Hunt, Gold Belt of Lorien, from the Pits of Angbad. Don't want to wake up to that. Subtlety of Guile. Okay. So the original game, of course, was called The Wizards, and the Wizards, they printed this, then they printed another expansion. They printed another set called Minions, which is where you actually left behind, where you actually were able to play the bad guys, which was really cool ability. So you could play orcs and orcs and goblins, and well, not really goblins, but you know what I'm saying. Orcs and all the bad guys. And when you play the bad guys, you then basically were playing against the good guys. It was a really cool ability and really cool thing to play ring race and everything. It was a totally different type of style of play, though. It really wasn't one that I particularly liked. The Wars map, I showed that to you. Times are evil, yes they are. Cloudless Day, Roland, Returned, Exile. That's a good faction right there. Five marshalling points. That's great. You definitely, if you played that, you're on your way to winning the game. So they had minions, and then what was the other thing that they had after that? They had more expansions after that. They had expansions for the minions where you could play agents, and the agents would try to become and get inside your party and mess things up, fight your party and get your items for your party and all kinds of stuff. And then you had the wizards, the white hand, right? And so they printed a set where you could actually play as the wizards. So you could play as Saruman and Radagast, Gandalf, and everybody else. That's a repeat. And then after that, there was one more set where they printed one called, well, it was two more, but they printed one called the Balrog. And the Balrog was kind of like the last set that they printed. And it was actually a different set in that they didn't print it in packs like this. They printed it in a box where you bought, where it was like a full set of all the cards in the box. Smaga Hunt again. That one is by far the most rare at the moment. It didn't guess. It's a good card. Because there weren't a whole lot of them printed. And so, yeah. It's definitely one of the more rare ones to get. I had a box at one time, but I sold it for some amount of money, and wish I hadn't now, but that's the way the world works. Worm Stench, Delamana Hunt, Blue Shield, Dragon Feuds, Smog at Home. There's the big daddy coming to eat you. All right. All right, we're getting close to the end. All right, we got Bride of Bohorn, Dragon Feuds, Host of Bats, the Riddle Game. All right, we got but one thing about also was really cool about this particular game is that unlike mini games where, drawing cards is a particular thing, this card, you draw a lot of cards. This game, you draw a lot of cards. It's designed where you cycle through your deck. In fact, the game, a really good game, you cycle through your entire deck once, probably twice. You go through the entire deck twice, and you go through it. And that's like a real game. Yeah, it takes a while, though. It can take an hour and a half or more. So, like, normally it didn't quite go there. Oh, I love that card. 3 golden hairs. Brand. Let's see if we can read this. Your hands shall flow with gold, and yet over you gold shall have no dominion. Another brand, and Exile of Solitude. There we go. Yep. All right. Last 2 packs. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed little story I had to give, and these beautiful cards, these beautiful pictures from a time long gone by, because not very often are these going to be around very more.